Well, hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Backroads back with you again. Today we're back in the Ozarks. We're on the new V-Strom 650 here. Got it all decked out and ready to go. We're just going to ride some roads, go to some creeks, and see what we find today. So stick around, we'll take a ride on this V-Strom. We'll go see some creeks and see what the Ozarks has to offer. Let's get rolling here, see what we can find today. The mighty beast rolling here. But today we're back in the Ozarks. We've had a weather change. We've shifted from cool, cloudy, drizzly, miserable, cold, rainy spring right into hot, humid, sticky, rainy, miserable summer. So that's good. Humidity is like about the same as the temperature. It's up around 89 degrees or 90 degrees. It's just been pretty hot and miserable, but you know, that's the way it is in the summer here in the Ozarks. You expect a lot of humidity and a lot of heat. The roads are in awesome condition. Had just enough rain that there's no dust, but they're not all muddy. That's a really good condition for the dirt roads to be in. I'm sure we'll find some mud holes and stuff, but by and large, they're in pretty good condition. Here's a horse in the shade here taking a break. He says, man, it's too hot and humid to be out in the sun. Well, we're getting down. There's bound to be some water down here somewhere. We keep going down, you're gonna hit a creek. It's just the way it is around here. This is our first little look at a stream, and it's barely got any water showing. A lot of rocks. It's got a little water in it. Oh, that's a bigger hole than I thought it was. Oh, and it's slick. Woo, that was slick. You got to watch the concrete on these low water bridges around here. If they get sun on them, like that one had sun on it, they'll grow that brown moss on that concrete, and it is like snot. The back end kicked out on it, the front end didn't. Usually the front tire will just go out from under you and you'll go down on it. So I kind of lucked out on that. But yeah, if they're in the sun, you can pretty much count on they're going to have that brown slime, and it's hard to see. It's the same color as the concrete. You can't tell if it's on there or not just by looking at it. If you really want to know, you got to walk out in it and slide your feet around and see what it feels like. I didn't feel any slipping on that one. 15-ton weight limit. Looky here, we got people on the river. Yeah, I won't stay and bother them. It's pretty cool. Ooh, not smooth, but it's cool. Oh. We'll move on. We got more roads to travel here. There's a cool old rock building that burned out. They're using that for a hay barn now. It's pretty neat. So this is pretty cool access here. This is the Veracruz access. There's actually an old bridge that used to be here, back over here, that has washed away, washed out, and then, believe it or not, this is the new bridge. Not much of a new bridge, let me tell you. Pretty rough. Look at all the campers down in here. I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, we'll go up here and turn around. Yeah, that little campground was full. People camping. Look at all these people. They've been swimming. I'm not going to stop and look at it. There's too many people here and I don't want to bother them. Howdy. But boy, look at all that. I mean, they're here for the weekend. They brought everything they own. That's pretty cool. People camping in this little campground as well. We'll take a look at the creek that they're camped on here. It's a beautiful little spot. Creek's moving right along. This is quite nice. Lots of water moving in the creek. It's not real clear. It's a little stirred up, but it's not bad. Good day to soak in the creek, let me tell you. It's plenty warm. This is Camp Joy. They got an old log cabin. We've looked at this before. It's been moved into this location. But it's a nice one. They've done a good job on it. And they're taking care of it, and that's what counts. It'll be here for future generations. It's an old one. We're gonna get wet right here. There's just no way around it. Just embrace the wet, I guess. Muddy and wet. Kind of swampy and backwatery down here. It's rained every day for weeks. You're liable to get into the swamp. We just kind of skirt around that, go up on the edge a little bit. We are on the bank right here. Literally. And I would guess that the creek's probably been out in the road from the looks of it. That's going to make a mess. Well, it's rolling right on through. Got a little mud in it. It's normally pretty clear, but not today. I believe this is Fox Creek right here. It is. So this is Fox Creek. It's moving right along. It's over the bridge. I can stand up on it, but just barely. All right, we got over that, and I believe we're going to go down here, and that Fox Creek we just crossed dumps into Bryant Creek. So we got two creeks coming together down here. Got a guy here, he is probably fishing. All right, we're going to put the drone up on this and have a look at it. We took a look at there at where Fox Creek and Bryant Creek join up, just downstream from the bridge here. We flew the drone on that. Got a look at some of that. We're going to head on down the road, see what else we can get into. Well, this little V-Strom just so much easier to ride, throw it around, and the center of gravity is quite a bit lower than it is on the Tiger. That's really the only complaint I've got with the Tiger. The major complaint I got is the high center of gravity. And that just goes along with being a tall bike with a lot of ground clearance, and just the way it is, a big bike, fairly big. But that thing gets leaned over on you, you gotta be careful, because it doesn't take a lot of lean to where you can't hold it up no more. This one's not as bad. It's not great. It's still a heavy bike. It weighs just as much, and it may even weigh more. I don't know. I don't remember. It's lower to the ground, and the center of gravity in the bike itself is lower. It just makes it a lot easier to ride. All right, we've made it back to the highway. We got one more little point of interest down the road here a piece. We'll stop at. There's actually a little town, or used to be a little town called Rockbridge. They had a post office, and I think they still do. We'll go look and see. I don't know if it's a working post office or not. They got a restaurant down here, and they raise trout, stock the creek, charge people to come fish. But that's kind of how they make their money. A good restaurant. They serve fresh trout. And they got a mill here on the creek here at Rockbridge, an old mill. They've kind of turned it into a bar and restaurant and what have you, but it's a big dude. And that's the restaurant there. And that's also the post office, and it's still a post office. So this is actually a town. Here's the creek and the dam here at the mill site. That old dam was built when the mill was built many a year ago. Here's some shade. This will work. Well, here's a look at part of the old mill, or the old mill. They've turned it into a restaurant, and I think there's a restaurant inside here in the bottom, maybe a bar up on another level, but they're kind of preserving the old building anyhow. Here's a look at the dam, the old dam here where they've dammed up the creek and feeding water into the old mill. The dam's still holding. Got kids playing. The spring-fed creek, so it's cold. And then downstream here, below, maybe a half a mile or so, are the tanks where they raise their trout that they release into the stream. Well, that's pretty cool. The old mill standing up here, what you can see of it. Well, that was a look at Rockbridge, the old mill, restaurant over here, and then they got the old bank established in 1904. Sitting up there, that old building, that was the original bank. I was thinking that was the post office, but it's the bank. The post office is in the main building there. It's still there today. See if we can get out of here without getting run over. Well, folks, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, checking out a couple of creeks there where Fox Creek runs into Bryant Creek. That was pretty cool. Got to fly the drone on that. We got a good look at Rockbridge, the old mill house there and the dam. You know, they raise trout there and they stock the creek. I fished there when I was a little bitty kid. I had a neighbor lady that would take me fishing down here. It's about an hour from where I grew up. She'd bring me down here and we'd fish. She'd pay for the fish I caught. She was a pretty cool lady. I invite you all to come back and see me. Till I catch up with you again next time. You all take care of yourselves. We'll catch you later.